Hi, welcome and welcome back as we continue our journey together, a journey that is defining this time in our history. This has been a difficult week, exacerbated, I suspect, by our expectation that the world would be different. We had hoped that the conclusion of our national elections might have brought a sense of calm, of repose, of quiet even. We had hoped that by this time, the virus, while not gone, would be further tamed, the numbers decreasing, the danger manageable if not eliminated. We are tired of this. We are soul weary. We feel caught in a Sisyphean cycle of constantly starting over, as if from the beginning, as if all of our efforts so far were for naught. Our spirits feel as dreary as the ever-shortening days of this time of year, as the cold and dark and desolate winter arrives, with its bleak message of ongoing isolation, separation, incessant circumspection, and vigilant discretion for which each of us must be responsible. We feel tempest-tossed, victimized even, by forces we did not create and over which we have such limited control. It will come as no surprise that this is the time of year when our tradition assures us there is always hope. There is always a path forward. There is always light to illuminate the darkness, however concealed that light might seem at any given moment. Our tradition stresses further the corollary that even a very small point of light can penetrate a vast darkness. Thus we gather today on Erev Rosh Chodesh Kislev. Aren't you delighted? Rosh Chodesh, as I am sure you recognize, shares a word in common with Rosh Hashanah, whereas the latter refers to the new year. Rosh Chodesh refers to the new month, which in the Jewish calendar always coincides with the new moon. And therefore those terms are interchangeable. New month, new moon are used meaning the same thing. Just as we mark the new year with sacred observance and celebration, so each of the 12 months of the year are considered mini observances, as each offers the opportunity for a renewed commitment to the values and ideals of our tradition. In moments, we will begin the Hebrew month of Kislev, which is significant because it is the month in which Hanukkah will occur, towards the very end of the month. There is a teaching from our sages, however, that the first day of the new month actually holds within it the entire month to come. Yet only a tiny sliver is at first visible. The potential is there, but initially it is hidden. This is the message of every Rosh Chodesh: potential to actualization, concealment to revelation. But the month of Kislev is the one in which concepts of concealment and revelation are most clearly illustrated. If we take the name of the month itself, Kislev, we find that the first syllable of the word kis derives from the word to cover or to conceal in Hebrew. The second half of the word, lev, has several meanings, but one is to refer to his or to him. If we relate this to God, it might mean that God is concealed. In relation to Rosh Chodesh and the cycle of the moon, we know that the moon appears to be almost non-existent at the beginning of each month because we cannot yet see it. It is concealed from our view because it has not yet become revealed. but we trust that it is there. Our tradition infers from this that Kislev is a time of concealment, but also a time of revelation and trust. It brings with it the winter months when even physically we tend to cover ourselves, retreat, cover ourselves with more layers of clothing and thereby conceal ourselves. The natural world sleeps in a state of seeming concealment. Kislev is the time of year when it is the darkest, and that is when we light the candles of Hanukkah, a sign of hope and trust that God is here with us amidst the darkness, even as we believe God was in some way present for our ancestors. Excuse me. There's a great deal today that we do not know, that we might say is concealed from us. Exactly when a viable vaccine might be revealed for use and how long it will take to distribute is concealed. We believe we know how the transition of power will happen, but we are anxious and uncertain as to exactly how it will look in this year of challenges. We cannot foresee at this moment how our lives will unfold, when we will be able to move ahead freely again, to gather with friends and dear ones, to leave our homes without masking our faces and being sure we have sanitizer with us. We do not know how much of these new procedures might stay in place indefinitely, or what the new normal will look like. This is a time of concealment when we long for the revelation of comfort and normalcy. This is a time of concealment when Hanukkah hovers on the horizon with its message that we must trust in the light we cannot see right now. We must find the hidden light within each of us, that divine spark that makes us uniquely human. The light of nature is concealed, but the light of the human spirit is within. There is another interpretation of the name of the month if we interpret the sound of the Hebrew word for the month, Kislev, and ignore the Hebrew spelling. In this interpretation, the first syllable, kis, means pocket in Hebrew, and lev, spelled differently than it would be in Kislev, is the heart. We could put the two words together as pocket of the heart, or a heart in the pocket. Either way, at Kislev, the beginning of winter, we find an opportune time to turn inward, to look into that hiding place and reconnect with our hearts, with our dreams, with our inner light and our inner sight. During Kislev, we're commanded to have faith, to follow our hearts and move forward even if we can't make out a clear path, that uncertainty of faith we have come to know so well. Our tradition asks us to move forward with trust and the courage of light, even small lights like those we find in the Hanukkah candles that illumine the darkness with the promise and mystery of miracles. I will share with you these words from At the Well Project. Kislev urges us to try something different. Take a break from thinking. Challenge yourself to move beyond logic. Like its name says, drop into the pocket of the heart. Drop into the pocket of the heart. So let us take our meditative positions and begin by breathing. Let's just do a small inventory as we put our feet on the floor, sit on the front half of our chairs if that is workable for each of us. If it's not, sit where it is most comfortable, but where you can resist falling asleep, which is always the occupational hazard of meditation. Everyone does. It's that breathing. It's that focus. It's that letting go of everything that consumes our attention and makes us so anxious and tense and stressed. Let us breathe in and even hold it for a moment. And then release. I have shared with you a potpourri of thoughts and images around the ideas of concealment and revelation, a pocket and the heart, dreams that according to our tradition are particularly suggested by this time of year, and the faint instinct that remains in human beings to hibernate, an instinct that is motivated also by the very long nights and the short days. The concept of light is very much a part of the month of Kislev, and as always, faith, the uncertainty of faith. So let us breathe in the knowledge that much of what we wish to know is still concealed from us. But with that intake, let us also breathe in the understanding that the truths we seek will eventually be revealed to us. And let us exhale with a sense of relief, but also of not surrender so much as acknowledgement that we can't be in charge of it all. It will come. What is concealed will be revealed in its own time, in its own path. Let us breathe in that knowledge and breathe out our control over the circumstances that we cannot control. Let us breathe in deeply, breathe in with a breath that goes into our hearts. Not to discover what is there at this moment, that is for a different time. Just to feel the depth of our heart's capacity to know that it is there. Even to place a hand over that precious part of us. It is the source of so much. Without its beating, we could not be breathing. And we ascribe to it all of the feelings, the emotions, the senses even, the non-logical parts of ourselves that drive so much of our lives. It is so powerful, this heart. We might even breathe in a thank you, a gratitude. You're doing good work, heart. Just please keep beating. Keep sustaining the life within me, for which I am profoundly grateful. That gratitude is part of each breath and part of that uncertain faith that also sustains us. That ability to greet each day, even though we have no idea how it will unfold. We go forward. We trust that our experience so far will continue to sustain us and help us move forward step by step into a future that even one moment from now is unknowable to us. It is concealed until one moment from now it is revealed, and then the next moment is concealed. In a sense, then, every breath we take is a continuum, is part of a continuum of concealment and revelation. And let us breathe in the understanding that we are a people who believe that the smallest light is worth lighting. The smallest act of kindness, of goodness, of compassion brings light into what otherwise is only darkness. We are that people. Our texts are filled with the vision of the Israelites bringing light into the world. Let us breathe in that knowledge that there is light within us, each of us, right now, right here. There is the light of wisdom from our tradition that we can call upon at any time. And that it is our mission to bring light into this world. It is part of our tradition to offer a blessing for the new moon during our worship service closest to the beginning of Rosh Chodesh. To conclude our time together today, I offer this blessing based upon the poetic interpretation of the blessing of the new moon, offered by Marcia Falk in her book, Blessings. May the month of Kislev be a month of blessings. Blessings of light, blessings of goodness, blessings of joy, of peace and kindness, friendship and love, creativity, strength, serenity, physical health, sustenance and radiance. May truth and justice guide our acts and compassion temper our lives, that we may blossom and still become our noblest, brightest selves. May it be so. I wish you a week of finding light and of being sustained and uplifted by it. I look forward to seeing you next time. God bless.